God took everyone away from me, and at first I didn't understand why. One by one, the people I thought would always be there, they left. Some walked away quietly, some betrayed me, some just disappeared like they were never real to begin with. I kept asking, God, why are you stripping me of everyone? What did I do to deserve this? But I didn't realize. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. In the moment, it felt like heartbreak, like abandonment, like God had turned his back and left me in a world that no longer made sense. The silence was loud, the rooms were empty, and the pain, it cut deeper than anything I had ever known. But chosen one, let me tell you something that I only understand now. When God removes people from your life, it's never random. He sees what you can't. He hears conversations you're not in. He knows who's pretending, who's draining you, who's blocking your growth. And sometimes, the only way to protect your purpose is to clear the room. At first, I fought it. I tried to hold on. I reached back for people who were no longer reaching for me. I kept texting, calling, begging for closure that never came. But nothing worked. And that's when I realized it wasn't them walking away. It was God pulling them away. Because if I had my way, I would have kept entertaining people who were secretly praying for my failure. I would have kept loving people who only loved my light, but hated my calling. I would have stayed stuck in circles that celebrated the version of me that played small, stayed quiet, and didn't know my worth. But God loved me too much to let me stay there. So he broke me. He isolated me. He emptied my life of everything familiar. And in that void, I met someone I'd never truly met before. Myself. The version of me that didn't need approval. The version that didn't seek validation through connection. The version that was whole without being surrounded. In that silence, God started rebuilding me. He didn't just take people away. He removed the noise, the distractions, the lies I believed about what love was supposed to feel like. And slowly, I began to heal, to hear, to see clearly. I started realizing that some of the people I missed, I was actually being saved from. Not every absence is a loss. Sometimes it's mercy. But here's where everything shifted. When I stopped fighting the isolation, something supernatural started happening. I started attracting peace, insight, alignment, ideas, favor, people who saw me, not the image, not the mask, me. And it wasn't many, but they were real. And that's when I realized why God had to clear the space first. You can't welcome what's divine while holding on to what's draining. You can't elevate if you're still entertaining the version of you that settles. You can't walk in purpose while clinging to people attached to your past self. Chosen one, if you feel like you've been stripped of everyone, hear me. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. God didn't take them away to hurt you. He took them away to heal you. Because sometimes it takes being alone to finally see who you are without the noise. This is where you discover your power. This is where you stop pouring into cups that only return emptiness. This is where you stop explaining yourself to people who were never meant to understand your soul. This is where you go deeper, into truth, into calling, into alignment. And yes, it hurts. It's human to want connection, to crave loyalty, to be seen and supported. But chosen ones, you're called to higher. And higher often means fewer friends, fewer relationships, fewer attachments, because the elevation requires clarity, and clarity comes in the quiet. When God isolates you, it's because He's about to reveal you, but not to the world. First, to you, to show you what you've been carrying all along, to show you that you were never abandoned, just being recalibrated, to show you that your spirit was outgrowing the rooms you were begging to stay in. And now, you're waking up. You're realizing that the rejection wasn't personal, it was protection. That the betrayal wasn't a setback, it was a redirection. That what looked like loss was really God saying, you're ready for more, but you can't take them with you. So he took them away. All of them. The fake friends, the shallow lovers, the people who applauded your weakness but got threatened by your strength. He removed them not because you're unlovable, but because your love is too sacred to be wasted. And when everything was gone, when I had no one left but God, I saw clearly for the first time in my life. I saw that the love I had been searching for in people was always inside of me, that the security I looked for in relationships was only real when it came from the divine. That being alone wasn't the end, it was the beginning. Once I embraced the silence, I began to hear God clearly, without distractions, without opinions, without the noise of people pulling me in different directions. For the first time, I didn't need someone else to tell me who I was. I started remembering who God created me to be before the world got its hands on me. That's when everything changed. What looked like isolation was actually divine instruction. What felt like rejection was God's redirection. I wasn't just losing people, I was finding purpose. And when that purpose activated inside me, things I used to cry over suddenly made sense. The pain had meaning. The silence had wisdom. The distance had protection. It was all strategy. God doesn't strip your life without reason. When He removes people, He also starts rebuilding you. And chosen one, when He rebuilds you, He doesn't use what broke you. He uses peace. He uses solitude. He uses you, the real you, not the version performing for others, not the one proving your worth to people who never deserved your time. The real, raw, unfiltered, spiritual you. And as that real version starts to rise, so does your power. You don't react the same. You don't beg anymore. You don't chase people who walk away. You bless them and release them. Because now you understand, when someone walks away, it's not always a loss. Sometimes it's a promotion. You're being promoted to a new spiritual level, one where your peace is no longer negotiable, one where your calling can't be contaminated by counterfeit connections, one where your heart is protected not because you're cold, but because you're finally wise. And when you reach that place, the real blessings begin. Suddenly, divine connections start showing up. People who feel familiar to your soul. People who pour into you without taking. People who aren't intimidated by your power, but inspired by it. The kind you don't have to explain yourself to, because they see you without needing words. But here's the truth. Those people could not enter your life until the others exited. Because God is not the author of confusion. He will not send the right people into a heart still occupied by the wrong ones. He had to clear the space. And now that He has, get ready. This is when restoration starts. Not just in your relationships, but in you. You'll wake up differently. Walk differently. Your voice will have more weight. Your presence will shift rooms. You'll glow without trying. Because you're no longer divided. You're no longer performing. You're whole. Not perfect, but real. Not flawless, but aligned. And from that place, you begin to attract what matches your healing. You attract peace, stability, respect, purpose, and suddenly, everything you lost doesn't hurt anymore. It doesn't feel like a curse. It feels like a rescue. Because you know now that God wasn't taking people away to hurt you. He was rescuing you from the version of yourself that settled for less. He was protecting your future. You see, some people were never assigned to the next chapter. They were part of your training, not your destiny. You outgrew their access, and when God saw you weren't willing to cut the cord, He did it for you. It's not easy. It's not painless, but it's necessary, because your purpose is too big. Your heart is too pure. Your energy is too rare to be wasted on temporary people. And the moment you embrace that, everything shifts. God starts restoring everything in divine order, not rushed, not forced, but real, authentic, sacred. You stop settling for shallow and start living in substance. You no longer crave attention. You crave alignment. You don't need to be seen by everyone, just recognized by the right ones. And the right ones, they're coming. But they'll meet a different version of you. Not the broken one, Not the one afraid of being alone. Not the one trying to prove anything. They'll meet the healed you, the chosen you, the virgin that knows who they are and who walks with them. So if you're in the season where God is taking everyone away, let Him remove what can't go with you. Let Him silence what's not for your spirit. Let Him clear the space so He can fill it with something real. Don't fight the pruning. It's how He makes room for the promise. And remember this, you were never alone. Not for 1 second. God was with you in every silent night, in every tear-stained prayer, in every moment you felt forgotten. He wasn't absent. He was working, protecting, shaping, lifting you out of your past and into your purpose. And now that the room is cleared, now that the noise is gone, now that you finally see the truth, get ready, because what's coming will make everything you lost make sense. This isn't the end of your story. This is where the real one begins.